didn't get out of control. Yeah.
Injury.
We weren't sure exactly what.
Big day for the Marine Corps. To see the family turn out was really impressive. The family would answer the call like this. The Marine in me just has to be inspired. There was just thinking about the ceremony here on this spot. A shiver, not just because of the cold we got out here today, but just the fact on this occasion, we're trying to talk a little bit about what it means to us as Marines. Try to relate perhaps what we might think as a family. Across the Marine Corps on this day, the first of the month is we promote Marines. We promote them. Not for what they've done. What Adam has done has been absolutely extraordinary. I'll talk about that in a little bit of detail. But really what they do is you're promoted for what the potential you see for the next steps. And so Adam, I hope you're ready, because as much as he's done, as much as he's strapped on as a Marine, there's still more as you become a Lieutenant Colonel Marines. And he couldn't be here, obviously, without the family. And Adam has been, I think, humble in the course of his career at this point. It's a threshold promotion. To actually serve, put you in a small percentage. To serve in the Marine Corps is smaller still. And then to be a Lieutenant Colonel Marines puts you in an elite group. And really a threshold in terms of mastery of his career as a professional, what the Marine Corps thinks of him. And he wanted to honor you by sharing this and recognize how important the family was to him at this moment. So again, this is all about you and the family. In particular, I'd like to start with the kids. Baylor, why don't you come on up? Okay, so I understand a little bit about the background, and there's a romance that's intertwined. A romance with the Corps and obviously a romance with Jennifer. And I've noticed that there's no holds barred in terms of recruiting family members, even your spouses. So Baylor, I'm going to give you this coin, and it represents all you've done to support your dad, and that you always remember this day, what a hero he is, your mom as well, and how much you supported him and what a great future you have. And if you ever think about being a United States Marine, come see me. I understand you're working in computers, and that would be perfect. Okay, Aaron, you want to come on up? I heard that Aaron wasn't coming, right? And then I heard that Aaron said she was coming. So I think that's exactly the Marine attitude, and exactly what your dad says. No, every barrier you're going to knock down. And your dad talks about how beautiful you are, what your great singing voice, what a dancer you are in your gymnastics. And thanks for coming, and thanks for insisting on being here. You've graced us with your presence. Okay, I talk about to Jennifer a little bit, and then just a little bit of the family. But Jennifer knew, usually in these kind of talks, you say the wife really didn't know what she was getting into, right? Jennifer knew, and you served as a child, and you can, Baylor and Aaron, you can look at your mom, and she's gone through what you've done, all the kind of sacrifices and difficulties you make, as your family pursues the line of honor, courage, and commitment. You share in that. And Jennifer, again, I guess as a daughter, a wife, and a mother, you've shared it all. There's a story about this fort, and I'll talk about history. There are a lot of different angles we can look at this moment. But there was one casualty, and there weren't that many. There's a woman who was supporting the troops in the firing line up front, and I don't think Jennifer will bring you that close to combat physically, But there's no way Adam could do what he could do, the combat diplomacy he went through, without the support of you in particular. And we were talking, there was a little bit, I guess, of concern during, I guess, the second honeymoon or something like that in Nassau about what was happening in Baltimore. And Marines all know the safest place to be anywhere is with a group of Marines. You have nothing to worry about. But it's often the wise at home. You have the fears, and they don't know what's going on in the uncertainty. And certainly that shared, so Jennifer, thank you so much. You've been so key to this team, and we're recognizing you just as well.
Thank you.
And then for Mom and Dad, who Adam has talked about, Barbara and Bill, thank you so much. This has got to be a source of just undying pride to have produced a son who's devoted to selfless sacrifice, a cause above himself, the protection of our nation, and again, the concerns of a mother. As you see someone in this glorious profession, God bless you for, I'm sure, the concerns and obviously support producing such a magnificent son. I think Bill the same, and Adam has talked about how much you've been formative to him in his life and where he got here. Thank you. Marine, good to see you in uniform.
Thank you, sir.
And again, humbled. And we stand on the shoulders of giants in the Marine Corps. We never worry about the enemy. We worry about, do we meet the expectations of those who've gone before? And I hope Adam's met yours, and I hope the Corps that we've had, that you've given to us, has done the same. Thank you for 26 years of active duty service, 36 years combined, and then again, the personal relationship and the story, how this got started, your hand in it. You got to feel good about that, maybe perhaps more than anything you've accomplished in your illustrious career, of course. So thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
For the rest of you, I'll let Adam recognize you individually. It's been a great family moment. So again, there are ceremonies in Iraq, overseas, in every climate and place where we recognize Marines at every level, from private to lance corporal, again, from major to lieutenant. It's really representing warriors. Adam is a warrior, not only in the past, but in what he's doing now. 24/7, we are in cyberspace, warfighting domain, in contact with the enemy, and the intel is what gets us there. I want to talk a little bit about his career and got us to this point. Before that, let me just hit a little bit of the history. And Jennifer, I'm sure you went to Nassau, not because it was your 14th anniversary. You had these conversations. Honey, it's been 11 years since we had a vacation. The Marine, so it took 11 years, one, either the Corps and its demands or Adam to finally get the message. But you headed off to the Bahamas, and I'm sure it wasn't, because the first amphibious landing in our history was in Nassau, Bahamas. I'm sure that's why you picked that spot. So not only was it the 14th wedding anniversary, it's the 239th anniversary of the first amphibious landing. And that really relates to this point. In 1776, it wasn't this fort, it was a preceding fort, but it was on this spot. The defense of our nation, just as Adam defends it now, was based on this fort. And in 1776, Major Nicholas, who recruited in a pub, and I guess that's the end of this one, this ceremony will end up in a pub, was the one who, not defensively, but offensively went after the British, the enemy at that point, who had taken gunpowder and arms from Virginia and harbored it in a magazine in Nassau. And the Marines took the positive actions to relieve them of those weapons to support the defense of this country. So not only just in Adam, in terms of the oath of office, it carries through from that very beginning. This is hallowed ground. It's not hallowed just for that fort from 1776 or this iteration or the Star-Spangled Banner. It's hallowed ground because of men and women who come forth to answer the call to to defend this democracy, and will put their hand up and have an oath that at the risk of their lives will defend our country. And we'll replicate that oath, and we'll have just another overlay, applique of honor and commitment to this grounds. Adam, his story, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, graduates, football player. He's going to go to the intel, and he's going to CIA, and this is going to happen through his force of will. Didn't quite work that way. The Marine Corps knew better, and then perhaps it was the will of Jennifer and this fate, because if he'd gone a different path, perhaps this wouldn't have happened. So all good. So as he started and graduated from Officer Candidate School in 1998, he was assigned to logistics. Logistics is fundamentally important to the Marine Corps. It's not where Adam wanted to go. But what makes the Marine Corps different is we are first on the scene. There's no logistics in place, and that's what gives us the strength. We can operate and fight and not wait for anything. And Adam was central to that, though probably a disappointment that he wasn't in intel. He started with 2nd Supply Battalion, 2nd Force Service Support Group in Camp Lejeune, and this is where I think fate took hold in the path that he suddenly discerned why he was going there. And again, the hand of the father-in-law, great, and the leadership in there. And again, we talked a little bit before, just getting the measure of the man very quickly about who was arriving, both in terms of Marine and that intertwined romance of Corps and family. Identified very quickly as a man for all seasons, can do a variety of things. He was brought in as a staff secretary, which puts you in a command group, and as somebody who's selected as shows an intelligence beyond his peers, and got into that position. He then got an assignment as XO, and then a company commander within the infantry, 2nd Marine Division, headquarters company. Again, somebody marked for his leadership, and he prepared his unit well for the first contact after 9/11 as we went into Iraq. He was picked by Major General Dickerson to serve as an aide, close personal relationship with a senior officer at a junior age, and did that for a year. And then he finally realized his dream, his second dream, after Jennifer, to become transferred into the intelligence field. And the Marine Corps finally recognized the wisdom of who we had in our hands and brought him into that key position. In that, he reported to the G2, the intelligence officer, for 2MEF, to do 2 combat deployments and 2 transition points during the war. The first one, very much intense combat, He was in current operations, but which puts you in the thick of it. His intelligence is what saves lives, which defeats the enemy, and obviously is a key figure during that deployment. His second deployment was a second transition. We're now into security and stability, where advise and assist. The Iraqis are up, and they're running it. And again, he was central to that. He's out of current ops now. Now he's working with our advisory teams. He's working with engagement with the Iraqis, who are now trying to set up to be up front. He finishes his tour there, a good 3-year run with 2 major deployments and all the cost for the family in terms of that. And then goes to Expeditionary Warfare School, groomed him for the future in terms of his education. And then he heads out as a commanding officer. It's a reserve unit. It's the Charlie Company, 1st Intel Support Battalion. And talked to Colonel Cooker, who could not be here today. But just as the Master Sergeant has passed on to us his leadership, there's a key and signal leader there who is changing the Corps. And what you want to do is make sure you live up to it. His view of Adam was, hey, they're smarter, they're better in every respect that we are. And Adam starts changing the Marine Corps in that position. He's getting units ready for combat and shipping them out to Iraq, but he's also fundamentally changing Marine intelligence, structured analysis. How do we make better? Now he's thinking beyond just the tactical missions, taking care of the Marines. He's now changing things institutionally. So signal development as he went forward. He gets assigned for a 3-year tour in Okinawa. In that, again, the signal achievement, he's got several billets that he's going in. The first of which, he's the plans officer. If you know the shift to the Pacific we're talking about, we've always been focused on the Pacific. There's the flashpoints of Korea, with Taiwan and others, of which he's doing the planning for, absolutely fundamental. He's also double-hatted. We have a Marine Expeditionary Brigade, which is a unit that has to go to moment's notice. So both is he planning for operations deep against these major operations, he's also responding to humanitarian assistance, disaster relief, anything that happens in the Pacific related to tsunamis and the like. He was pulled out to provide that, as well as his duties in terms of a planner. And then in his signal accomplishment and recognition of his ability, he was handpicked to go to the Philippines to work with special operations to be the deputy intel officer in the Philippines. And it's a story that's not well known because it was so successful. As we look at radical Islam, there's a whole Islamic belt that's in the Pacific that is very concerning. The reason you don't hear about it is the campaign was prosecuted so effectively. And again, Adam was a piece of that in the Philippines. He's come back. He's joined us in Cyber Command. He's right now is the officer in charge of analysis and production, but he's had many responsibilities to include how do we bring cyberspace, an entirely new warfighting domain, to our active forces, specifically some of the threats, Iran, Chinese, the Russians, and others. And he's just been a prime mover and eminently qualified for the rank that we're about to promote him to. So I want to thank you all for coming. We're going to get into the ceremonial aspect of it. We'll have a chance, Adam, for you to make some words. But before I do that, Jennifer, Semper Fi. All right, thank you. All right, if you join me up here.
Attention orders.
To all who shall see these presents, greeting. Know ye that, reposing special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Adam B. Jenkins, I do by and with consent of the Senate appoint this officer a lieutenant colonel in the United States Marine Corps, to rank as such from the first day of May 2015. This officer will therefore carefully and diligently discharge the duties of the office to which appointed by doing and performing all manner of things thereunto belonging. And I do strictly charge and require those officers and other personnel of lesser rank to render such obedience as is due an officer of this grade and position. And this officer is to observe and follow orders and directions from time to time as may be given by the President of the United States of America or other superior officers acting in accordance with the laws of the United States of America. This commission is to continue in force during the pleasure of the President of the United States of America under the provisions of those public laws relating to officers of the Armed Forces of the United States of America and the component thereof in which this appointment is made, done at the City of Washington this first day of May in the year of our Lord 2015, and of the independence of the United States of America, 1938, by the President, Joseph F. Dunford, Jr., Commandant of the Marine Corps, Ray Mavis, Secretary of the Navy.
Adam, raise your hand.
I, Adam B. Jenkins,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support and defend
to support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that will bear true faith
which I will bear true
allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any reservation
or purpose of evasion, that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
the office upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Right. Congratulations. Welcome to Hamilton. Please stand at ease.
Bailey, come on up. Just stand. So I've often told other Marines, never give a speech without having some speaker notes ready to go. So bear with me. I've got a lot of folks I'd like to thank. First of all, General, thank you again. Your presence here today for being with me. So, as the General alluded to, this was, working in intelligence for me was always a lifelong dream. Even as a kid, that's all I wanted to do. It just took me a little longer to get there than I had originally intended. It is truly a passion of mine, and I'm getting to live my dream. And to actually be up here, and be a lieutenant colonel and an intelligence officer of the Marine Corps, it's just, I can't tell you how humbling it is. But we don't get there by ourselves. We have a lot of folks along the way that provide that support and comfort and help us be successful in our careers. And I couldn't have done it without you. First and foremost, my wife and my children, 2 of whom are here today, Baylor, you and Aaron, thank you for being here today. Thank you for putting up with all of Dad being gone so many times. And my lovely wife, Jennifer. Thank you, sweetheart, for being here today. I'd also like to thank my mom and Bill. Thank you both for being here today. Your inspiration along the way, we get a lot from our parents, and I have certainly gotten a lot from both of you. It's helped me be successful in life, and so I thank you. And I'd like to also thank my father, who couldn't be here today due to some health issues, but I thank him for his wisdom and guidance along the way as well. And I know he would wish if he could be here. I also look out, I see lots of family members that are here today. I've had folks travel from great distances. California, I've got Matt, you travel almost as much as I do. So thank you so much for being here. Cameron, you were in the car for 10 hours yesterday, driving through rain. Thank you both for being here. I've got some aunts and I've got an uncle. I mean, they travel, they were on planes. And it's very humbling for me to look out and see we've got aunts, we've got friends, we've got family members. That is truly humbling to me, and I thank you all for being here. Dave, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you. I guarantee it. Okay, I would have been a mess somewhere, curled up in a puddle. You saved me. You continue to give me guidance. And I need it constantly. So thank you for all the wisdom and guidance. Thank you for pointing Jennifer and I know you kept doing that. Just say, hey, sir, you need to take her out. Come on. Thank you very much for doing it. So it's not just about, family, it's also about friends. We've got old friends. I've got Lieutenant Colonel Perry. I've got Colonel Scott. I mean, there are people that I've known throughout my career that are here today, some old friends. That's very humbling, but it's also about new friends as well. Lots of traveling throughout the last 3 years where I've been. We usually lived on base, and so Jennifer always had some military wives that can relate to, to who we are. But we live in a cul-de-sac in Sykesville, and so we're living amongst civilians now, and they don't always get what you go through. Ladies, you have provided things for Jennifer that, whether you realize it or not, has meant a tremendous amount to her, and it's obviously meant a lot to me. So thank you for being here today. I'd also like to take a moment. So one of my new friends and a neighbor, Tim, thank you for being here today. I know that it's not hard to notice the uniform that he's wearing today. Tim is a Baltimore County police officer, and you and your brothers and sisters in arms have had quite a week. And I would like to publicly recognize what you and your brothers and sisters in blue have done and continue to do to bring peace back to our fair city here in Baltimore. So ladies and gentlemen, if I could, a round of applause for all our men and women in blue. And finally, to the Marines and my compatriots at Law Enforcement Cyber, they continue to do amazing things. You know, being here 3 years, you see the transition, you see how far we've come and how much further we are going to go. It has been truly an honor to work with you, to see, our transition as we continue to go forward. They're doing amazing things, protecting not just America's critical infrastructure and key resources, but the networks of the Marine Corps that are under threat every day by adversaries that are trying to destroy and degrade. And they're doing an amazing job, and it's been humbling, and I'm very grateful to have been a part of the team with you all. So thank you. That's it. Thank you all again for coming. This means the world to me and my family. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Adam is out of uniform. You need to fix this.
You want to help? All right.
Let's do the other one. It goes around. Yeah, it's stems. That's very special.
Thank you, buddy. Hold on to those.
Cover, right?
Oops. We're gonna fix it later. That's the first thing you need to do in here, right?
He's actually done really well.
All right.
Good job.
That's it, buddy. What do you think?
It looks new.
Thank you.
All right.
again, Dale. Thank you.
what we traditionally do, and Jennifer, if you come up, and the two kids, is we line up the family, they'll come around, shake their hands, kiss them, hug them, whatever's appropriate.
Behind them?
You're on the receiving line. Don't come around.
Okay, you line up for the you in front. Here. People are gonna come say hi to you. Okay? You say hi. Very, very. Come here. Let's get Billy Bob in.
Congratulations to the family. They all know this was a family effort here.
Yes, it is.
Mighty proud of you.
Thank you.
Stay here next time.
It's really special.
Thank you.
It's really cool. Really special.
Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Nice job, Taylor. Good going. Oh, no, I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
I was going to bring the dog here. I knew they would let it in the porch.
Is it a little dog? Just put it back.
I know. Well, you know, there's so many Georgia Florida games with Adam.
Well, there you go. So it's practically family. I know. I was like, I told him. Thank you. You must be so proud. I didn't know this day was going to come. Look at that.
Thank you. I did.
You show her? I know. It's super cool. You're welcome, sir. Can y'all say thank you for coming? Yes. Thank you. I'm so glad I could.
Thank you.
It's so much nicer when the sun comes out. Hey, Frank.
Well, good job.
Thank you so much. God damn.
We put them in the system yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Oh, hey.
They were created.
So glad you and my kids could be here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I know, right? I know. We used to be so much younger. Congratulations. Sit up there yawning the whole time. Really? It's not that boring.
Yasmin says she's sorry that she couldn't be here. She's got a bigger sister up in Washington. Mamas or this?
Yeah, Thomas was close, I gotta say.
Oh my goodness. What is this? You look great, bro.
Don't worry.
I appreciate that.
Thank you very
Bubba,
much.
you want to hand me that? All right. Yeah.
2 years? Yeah. He waited less time than we did. I look back there and I'm like, I see the glasses.
Oh,
that's great.
okay. Because you're in Adam's car. And we don't know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and then you're much better. Betsy's staying.
Yeah.
Well, there's the whole thing.
Hello, Matt. Thank you for coming.
Worst unit. Bruce
Yeah, it was awesome. Congratulations. She baked us out for 5 days. They went to the Bahamas and me and Dave were holding down the fort. It's hard not having military mommies around. So, well, you know,
I wanted to do that.
this is fun. Thank y'all. And you? Oh, you're great. You're like, I'm good. No hug. Thank you.
Oh my God. Oh wow. You made it.
Thank you. You know, he's like, what you want to do? I'm like, how about in there somewhere. All the yawns.
All right, hey, we're going.
Hi, I saw you over there. I'm like, oh,
This is the
she's awesome. How's she doing? Now you're clear.
We've had a little hard time.